This is a storytelling game called Theatrical Genres, although we're going to encompass that to be literary genres and movie genres. Basically, I'm going to start telling a story, a very basic non-genre story. Fred, anytime he wants, can call out a genre, and I will then have to continue telling my story, but encompassing that new genre. So, Fred, are you ready?
I am.
Okay. One night it was very stormy and
Film noir. Film noir.
Film noir. It was very stormy, and our hero Sam was sitting in his office, saying, "Man, smells like trouble out there tonight." When all of a sudden there was a knock on his door, and when he looked up through the glass, he saw a shape that was far too large to be any human being.
Victorian.
Sam reached into his desk and pulled out his mask, his Victorian mask, so that he could hide from this monster.
Comedy.
And when he opened the door, he saw that it wasn't just any monster, but it was the giant troll guy from Shrek. And Shrek happened to be his former Sam's old brother who had been transformed into a troll.
Love story.
And when Sam looked at this giant troll that used to be his brother, he dropped his Victorian mask and said, "I never realized it, but I have a weird troll fetish, and I love you."
Documentary.
And this was interesting because, in an aside, Sam said, "Here's the thing, I never thought I'd like trolls, but when I really looked at that guy, I found that I'm more concerned about inner beauty than outer beauty." And the troll had his own feelings on
Science fiction.
The troll was actually from the future, and he said, "You cannot fall in love with me. I'm here to warn you about the end of the world. You need to stop this storm that is raging out that window, because it's going to go on forever, and all of humanity will be turned into trolls like me."
Disaster film.
And before Sam could do anything about it, a meteor hit the planet and everyone died. Okay, so that's our theatrical genres, and again, Fred was throwing out theater, movie, literature. It doesn't really matter.
Yep.
And again, the key here is to...
What if somebody doesn't know what's thrown out? What do you do?
Well, interesting question. You do your best. You make it up. Because we've had that happen before.
Sure.
Where some people call something out and like, what is it? Like German minimalist. I don't know what that actually is, but I can guess it. The worst was this may have been around when Viagra Diaries was, or things like that, and somebody's...
Viagra Diaries?
Oh no, that was no, yeah, the Vagina Diaries,
right.
whatever.
Right.
And someone in the audience yelled out the Viagra Diaries as a suggestion. Now none of us knew. We didn't even know what Viagra was. This is a long time ago. We didn't know what Viagra was. So we just
Went with it.
And that's what, if you're doing it in a performance standpoint, that's where a lot of the humor comes out.
Right. And why is this a good exercise to do?
Because it forces you to switch and incorporate instantly. Again, as you notice, as the stories went, we don't drop the old elements. So it was Victorian, it was a detective, it was still, or the Victorian mask was still there in later genres, the horror elements were still there in the later genres. So it forces you to move in new directions while remembering the old.
Yeah.
Which is very much of it's weird, but it's very much of a collaborative mindset.
And why does this help people who are watching this to do anything they're doing better?
Because there's the creativity in incorporating the genres into what they do. There's an expressiveness in the storytelling. Any storytelling game will help you because the heart of communication is storytelling. Whether it's a speech, sales pitch, you're asking for anything. That ability to tell a good story, and then this method forces you to tell it in different ways, which all become then tools in your toolbox.
Perfect.